Black again. Proof the Bible is realistic. Check this out. After the flood of Noah, there was a youth born named Nimrod. Nimrod was the brethren responsible for building the Tower of Babel. You see, the interpretation of the word Babel or translation is confusion. So Nimrod was responsible for building the Tower of Confusion in earth. Now, I wanted to bring it to modern day, 2022. This is thousands of years later. Nimrod was spoken of in the book of Genesis. That's thousands of years closer to creation, the time of Noah. But yet today, 2022, let me show you a mystery. Here in Egypt, Bahamas, where I was born, we black Africans come down here in slavery in the Western world. America's, Britain, they bring us here to the transatlantic slave trade. But I want to show you a coincidence. In the mere fact that this is thousands of years later, we were in Africa as a people for thousands of years. Came here in the 16th century AD, after the death of Christ. In the 16th century, thousands of years later, we live on plantations called Egypt, Bahamas, Egypt, Jamaica, Egypt, Trinidad, Egypt, Americas, in any parts of the West that hold slaves, they plantation. The African slave we sell, black African slave in the West, still today. What's the coincidence? We didn't even speak English, Greek, Roman, none of these stuff. But what's the coincidence? When we look within ourselves, we still here, years later, thousands of years later. If someone is making a speech and they're not being clear to the point, we, refer to them as babbling. Stop babbling. Stop babbling. Stop talking as if you're confused. So even today, 2022, Babel is still represented as confusion, babbling. Today in the black Ethiopian family, King Emmanuel, come and remind us of ourselves and bring us sound doctrine, true doctrine, just truth. Yet, today in society around us, many still babbling about the truth. You see? And, when you translate, in Baal, they carry out, an act which you also call Balaam. You see? So same said way. King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, the Black Christ Return, the Black Jesus Christ Return, show us not to talk Balaam, not to babble. You see, not to speak things that cause confusion. Even if you look at it biblically, the apostle made it clear to all the disciples and the followers not to speak babble, not to speak Balaam, not to speak things that confuse the people. Babel eventually, were descendants of Babylon. You see, which is still confusion. So Balaam, Baal, Balak, Babylon, Babel, however you pronounce it, it's all confusion. God is not the author of confusion. Satan is the author of confusion. So King Emmanuel Charles Edwards give us a teaching, he give us a doctrine, give us commandments, he give us principles, give us instructions. Those who speak things that is in opposition to what King Emmanuel teach and what King Emmanuel said, they speak in Balaam, Babbling. You see, them are deal with Baal and Babel and Babel. Them Nimrod people, confusion. You see,